Hello, hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Welcome. I'm seeing all your comments. I think this is working. Let me just double check. Sorry, guys. We're kind of starting out here. Trying to get Nicole on. While we're waiting for Nicole, I wanted to just kind of welcome everybody. Okay, good. Thank you, AJ. Good. That was a good time frame too. I'm glad it's not super delayed. Hopefully it's not too delayed. I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us. I am so excited to start this day with you guys. And I started this because we all just needed some positivity right now. It's crazy times. And these poor brides who have canceled wedding fairs, it's crazy that we can't gather. And so we're just making the best of it. So yeah, we're gonna get this day started. Please be patient with us. I've never done this before. So, expect some random hiccups throughout the day. If anything happens, just go back to the Bridal Talk page and reload it. And hopefully we can get it going. So just wanted to throw that out there. And yeah, we have Nicole Wild coming up. She looks like she's almost ready to go. She's going to give us a yoga class, and I'm so excited that I need to relax a little bit. I am so nervous. And yeah, it looks like she's ready. Let's add her to the stream. Hi!
Hi!
Oh my gosh, the delay is not bad at all. This is awesome.
Oh, good. And you can see me okay? And can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm using my AirPods, which seem to work for Mike because I'll be back here. So if at any point you can't hear me, just let me know.
Okay, so I'll go like this.
Yes, sounds good.
Full screen.
Okay, perfect.
Good.
Awesome.
Oops.
This is so fun. Thank you so much for having me. And those of you who are here and tuned in live, I'm so excited to be doing 30 minutes of yoga with you this morning. What an awesome way to start off the day. Little mini introduction. I'm Nicole. If I don't know you, I'm a wedding photographer, and then I'm also a yoga instructor, and those things kind of they fill my life in a lot of different ways. So I do offer yoga sessions to my couples and bridal parties on the day of the wedding, and offer lots of yoga as add-ons if people choose. Of course, it's always optional. But I think it's really, really an awesome opportunity to connect these two worlds of mine. So it's so fun when I get the opportunity to do things like this. All right, we are going to jump right in, and I see that there's a comment box. This is my first time I've done lives, but with this format. So if you have any requests or things or anything that I should know, feel free to drop it in the got my yoga pants on and looking haggard. That's hilarious. Love it. The best thing about practicing in your own home, right? All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna hop back here really quick and make sure that you can still hear me. If you cannot hear me, someone put it in the comment box now when I'm this far away from the camera. We're all just figuring it out, right? Awesome, you're good, great. Let's go ahead and get started in a child's pose, which means that your knees are gonna walk wide, your big toes will come together, and then hips sync on top of the heels. I'm hearing you guys in just a second. Can hear you great. I'm hearing feedback in my end. I just want to make sure. Okay, I think we're good. Sorry, guys. All right. Starting from the beginning. Knees to the edges of the mat, big toes together, hips on top of the heels, and then arms extend out long in front of you. And then if it's possible here, see if you can let your forehead rest to the floor. And I encourage you to just start with a couple deep belly breaths, long and full inhales through the nose, And even pausing at the top of your inhale, and you could hold the breath for a moment and then open the mouth for your exhale, release. Starting to walk the fingertips even a little bit closer to the top of the mat so that we're lengthening out the side bodies. And on your exhale, we're going to walk both hands off to the right side of the mat. So the left hand presses on top of the right, and then the left shoulder shifts down slightly. Lengthening out down left side body and even sending the breath into the space of the left rib cage. And on your inhale, walk the hands back through center, and then exhale over to the other side. Right hand presses on top of left, right shoulder shifts down. Lengthening out down right side body. Using your inhale, walk the hands back through center. Last cycle of breath here, engaging all 10 finger pads and knuckle pads down into the floor. And then on your inhale, let's roll up the spine, finding a tabletop position. So in a tabletop, your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips. We're going to start to take a couple cycles of cat-cow here. So inhale to open the collarbones, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. You're really lengthening out kind of the front side of the belly. And then on your exhale, round through the back body, tucking tailbone down towards floor and pulling the chin into the chest as if you could press the back of the heart up towards the sky. Couple more rounds here. Inhale to open the heart to the front of the room. Lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. And then exhale round through the back body. Stick with this for a couple more rounds on your own, just starting to wake up down the spine, seeing if you can even start the movement from the tailbone and work its way up and down the spine, one vertebrae at a time. And take one more round here. Again, setting that foundation of connecting movement with the breath. Inhale and exhale. And then making your way back into a neutral spine, we're going to keep the left hand grounded to the floor. On your inhale, right fingertips open up. So you're spinning the heart to the right side of the room, right shoulder to stack on top of the left. On your exhale, thread the right arm underneath you, right shoulder and right ear come all the way down to the floor. And you're welcome to stay right here, or you could walk left hand out long in front of you. You could also kick the left toes to the back of the mat. So just getting some opening in the back of the shoulder. A little bit of a twist in the spine. If you've stepped the left leg back, let's bring left knee back underneath left hip, left hand underneath left shoulder, and then open the right fingertips back up to the sky. And then release back through center. Right hand plants. Inhale, left fingertips open up and focus on the twist here. Think of stacking left shoulder on top of the right. So you're really opening the heart to the left side of the room. On your exhale, thread the left arm underneath you, left shoulder, left ear to the floor. And then again, you can either stay here or walk right arm long in front of you, and or right leg could step back. And then really just sink into the left shoulder. So you're not tensing any muscles to hold yourself up here. You're really just relaxing onto the left shoulder to get some opening through that back side. And if you step the right foot back, right knee comes back underneath right hip, right hand underneath right shoulder, and on the left fingertips peel open. And then release the left hand back down to the mat. We're going to shift forward and back here. Getting a little bit into the wrists. If any of you have taken my classes before, I'm a big fan of both strengthening and opening up the wrists, especially if you spend any time on a computer or a phone, which I can assume all of us do. And then come back through center. Flip the hands so that the fingers point towards the edges of the mat and the wrists are facing each other. And then again, shift side to side. And then come back through center. Last one, flip the hands all the way around so that fingers point towards the knees. Now, if this is too intense, you can do this one hand at a time if you need to. And you can either stay here or you can pull the upper body back until the heels of the palms just barely lift from the floor. Wrist stuff can be pretty intense. If it's sharp pain, then definitely back out. But if it's just kind of an uncomfortable, stretchy sensation, see if you can stick with it. And curl onto the toes if you're not there already. We're going to sit back on top of the heels and then interlace all 10 fingers and roll out the wrists. And then switch direction of the circles. And then extend the fingertips up overhead, arms up overhead, all 10 fingers to interlace except the index and the thumb. We're gonna lift up and out of the waist. We're still on the balls of the feet if you can. So we're stretching out the bottoms of the feet here. And then on your exhale, lean the upper body over to the right. So again, lengthening out down left side body. If you could draw one line of energy from the left pointer finger all the way into the left hip. Inhale to come back through center, and then exhale over to the other side. Really lifting up and out of the waist so that we're not collapsing into the left side body. Inhale back through center. Cactus out the arms, fingertips are active. Peel the heart open towards the sky as you pull the tailbone back. So big opening through the heart. Shoulders together on the back body. And then inhale to release the back bend, release the hands to the mat. We're gonna come back through our tabletop position, untuck the toes. And then the stretching of the feet can be pretty intense. So you might even kind of like tap the feet on the tops of the feet on the floor to kind of reverse that stretch. And then when you're ready for it, we're going to curl back onto the toes and lift the hips up and back into a downward dog. First downward dog of practice. Take a couple cycles of breath here just to paddle out the feet, bending into one knee and then into the other knee, moving the hips from side to side. It's meant to feel good in the body. Look at the hands and check that all 10 finger pads and knuckle pads are glued to the mat. So the index knuckle finger isn't, your knuckle pad isn't lifting up. On your inhale, let's sweep the right toes high. Bend the knee to open up the hips. So think about pointing right knee up towards the ceiling and squeezing the right heel in towards the right glute. On your exhale, pull the right knee into the chest and step the foot all the way through. Drop the left knee down. On your inhale, we're gonna lift the upper body up. Circle the hands. Think of using the full range of motion in the shoulders to interlace the hands at the low back. Once your hands are interlaced, pull the heart through. So you're opening the heart towards the sky just a little bit, but also think of pressing the hips down and forward so you're getting some length in the front of the left hip as well. And then releasing the clasp of the hands. Reverse the circle, full range of motion in the shoulders. As you come back through center, we're going to frame out the right foot and straighten out the right leg. Now, this is a shape that requires open hamstrings and or creates open hamstrings. So if you feel like the ground is pretty far away here, you can always grab something to put the hands up onto. Traditionally, it would be yoga blocks, but it can be really anything that adds some height. Pull the right toes back towards the body, so we're lengthening out the right calf and Achilles tendon. I'm just inviting the heart towards the right thigh and keep pulling the right toes back. Rebend into the right knee. We're going to plant the right foot, lift the left knee, and then take a big step forward to the top of the mat, forward fold, Uttanasana in Sanskrit. Clasp opposite elbows here, and just sway side to side. You might even drop the weight of the head, letting chin pull into the chest so that we're bringing some length into the back of the neck. And then release just the right hand down to the mat. Take a bend into the right knee. Left fingertips peel open. So again, stacking left shoulder on top of right. Then you can either stay here or you could bring left hand behind the back towards the right inner thigh. And releasing the bind. If you've got it, come back through center. We'll swap it out. Left hand plants. Bend into the left knee. Right fingertips peel open. Right shoulder to stack. And then either stay here or right hand comes behind the back. Releasing the bind. If you've got it, come back through center, straightening out through both legs with a little micro bend into the knees. We're going to see here one vertebrae at a time, play with rolling up the spine. So really make it slow. Think of articulating each vertebrae in the spine, head and neck are last to lift. And then arms extend up overhead at the top. Bring the palms all the way to touch and gaze up to the fingertips. On your exhale, come right back down, forward fold, Uttanasana. With your inhale, halfway lift, long spine, so think of reaching the crown of the head to the front of the room. And then exhale to release. Plant the hands underneath the shoulders and step back into a high plank. So high plank is also kind of known as the top of a push-up position. And this is not going to be a very fiery practice this morning. We're staying pretty gentle, but we are going to take just a couple cycles of breath right here. So actively press the floor away from you. So think of lifting up out of the shoulder sockets. Glutes are engaged. Tuck the tailbone down. And then you can either keep the knees lifted or you can drop the knees down to the floor at any point. See if you can graze the elbows along the rib cage as you lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes at the bottom. On your inhale, lift baby cobra. Now pressing the tops of the toes into the floor. Think of reaching the crown of the head to the front of the room. So your gaze is probably around the top of the mat or maybe just a little bit in front of it. See if you can even lift the fingertips. So we're using the strength of the back body here. And on your exhale, release the heart back down. Plant the hands under the shoulders, curl into the toes, and again, you can either keep the knees grounded or you could keep them lifted for a little bit more heat and press all the way back up, high plank. And then exhale, send the hips back, downward dog. And then we get to do that whole sequence on the other side. So inhale, sweep the left toes high, and just start here by bending the knee and opening up the hip. So think of pointing left knee up towards the ceiling and really squeezing the left heel in towards the glutes. Even roll out the left ankle here. And with your exhale, pull the left knee into the chest. Either one big step or several little ones, left foot steps all the way through between the hands. Drop the right knee down. With your inhale, upper body lifts. We're coming all the way through center. As you do, full range of motion in the shoulders, circle the hands behind the back. Opposite interlace of the hands. So whatever pinky was on top last time, the other pinky on top this time. And then you're going to straighten out through the elbows as much as you can. It's okay if they don't go all the way straight. Pull the heart through the shoulders and then actively press the hips down and forward. So we're lengthening out through the front of the right hip. And then release the clasp of the hands again. Reverse the circle of the shoulders, circle of the arms. Frame out the left foot. And again, hands can come either to the floor, or if you need some extra height, you could grab something for the hands and then straighten out through the left leg. Pull the left toes back towards the body, left hip back so that the hips stay pretty squared off to the top of the mat. And heart softens towards left thigh. And you might even, for these last cycles of breath, drop the chin in towards the chest. You could even eventually work towards rounding nose to the left knee. And on your inhale, let's re-bend into the left knee, planting left foot to the floor, lift the right knee, and then take a big step forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Clasp opposite elbows, again, swaying from side to side. And then releasing both hands down. One more time, let's roll up the spine one vertebrae at a time. So head and neck are last to lift. And then arms extend up overhead, palms come all the way to touch, gaze to the fingers. On your exhale, forward fold, come right back down. Inhale to halfway lift, lengthen the spine. On your exhale, release. Plant the hands, step back into a high plank, wrists underneath the shoulders. So elbows stay into the side bodies. On your exhale, you're going to lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes at the bottom, and then bring the hands wider than the mat and tent the fingertips. So just the fingertips are on the floor. And then pressing into the fingers on your inhale, let's lift the heart, pull the shoulders together and down the back body, pressing the tops of the toes into the floor to keep the back of the legs engaged. On your exhale here, you're going to bend into the right elbow and drop the right shoulder towards the floor, but left arm stays exactly as it is. So right ear releases towards the mat. And then inhale to come back through center. And on your exhale, left shoulder drops. Left elbow bends, right arm stays as it is. Inhale to come back through center. Pausing here, maybe straightening through the arms even a little bit more if that feels supported in the low spine. And then exhale, release the heart to the floor, hands underneath the shoulders, curl into the toes. And then again, we'll press all the way up, high plank. Your knees can stay grounded, pressing up to tabletop first. And then on your exhale, send the hips back, downward dog. Let's walk the feet all the way to the top of the mat. So coming back into our forward fold. But then this time we're gonna walk the feet wider than hip width distance, maybe even all the way to the edges of the mat. Toes are gonna point out just slightly. So toes point to like 1 and 11 on the clock. Then you're gonna bend into the knees and drop the hips into a yogi squat. Shape is called malasana. It's okay if the heels are lifted here. They'll sink to the floor with time. That's lengthening out the Achilles tendons. Let's bring palms to touch at the heart and then press the elbows into the knees and press the knees back into the elbows. So we're opening up the hips, but then also traction the spine tall. So crown of the head really reaches high. And just one more cycle of breath here. Always option to close the eyes. As you're ready for it, we'll straighten out the legs, lift the hips, forward fold, Uttanasana. Walk the feet to hip width distance apart. On your inhale, we'll halfway lift and lengthen the spine. This time bringing hands back to that interlace at the low back. Pulling heart through the shoulders, and then keep the clasp of the hands as you exhale, fold. Make sure you've got a little bend in the knees here, just so that the joint space is protected. And then drop the head, pulling chin in towards chest. You might even take a super deep bend into the knees until you can glue the torso to the tops of the thighs. Keep pulling the heels of the hands in towards each other and the hands more forward towards the front of the room, really big opening in the shoulders. Release the hands back down to the mat, straightening out through the legs as you inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale to release. Pulling out the hands, step back into a high plank. This time on your exhale, you can lower back down to the belly, especially if you feel this high plank in the low back at all. Otherwise, we're gonna play with lowering just halfway down, and then this time pull the heart through for upward dog. So if you're in an upward dog, thighs are lifted. Again, that baby cobra that we've been in is also an option. And then on your exhale, send the hips up and back, coming into our downward dog. On your next inhale, sweep the right toes high. On your exhale, we're gonna come into half pigeon, always a crowd pleaser. Right knee comes into the right wrist, and the left leg stays extended long behind you. This is a pretty big hip opener. If there's any tension in the right knee at all, you wanna back out of the shape. We don't want there to be any tension. If there is pain in the right knee, you can bend into the left knee and do this pose here so that the left knee is kind of in the bottom of the right foot. But otherwise, with the left leg long, you can either stay tall or you can lower down to forearms. You could even make your way down towards the belly. We want to keep the hips pretty squared off to the top of the mat. So if you feel your weight kind of dumping off to the right, like your right hip is sinking down into the mat, see if you can bump the hips over to the left. And we have just a couple cycles of breath here. We're not going to hang out too long. And then using an inhale, let's press back up to the hands. Curl onto the left toes, and the transition will be into a three-legged down dog. So you'll lift the left knee and kick the right toes all the way back. And then again, bend into the right knee, this time taking some big circles with the right knee. So you're rotating the femur and the hip socket. And then drop the right foot next to the left foot, downward dog. And we'll swap it out. Inhale, left toe sweep high. With your exhale, left knee into the left wrist. Right leg stays long, untuck the toes. Totally normal for one side of the body to feel really different from the other. So give yourself the time to set up in the shape. If there is pain in the left knee, then again, you can bend into the right knee and swing the right knee in and do the shape here as an alternative. If left knee is okay with right leg extended, you can either stay tall or lower down to forearms or make your way towards belly. If it's possible here, and only if it feels really supported, see if you can let the forehead rest onto something. So whether that's the floor or the backs of the hands, or you can even stack the hands into fists and let the forehead rest there. But I think there's something really grounding about resting that space in the middle of the forehead. We could reference it as the third eye, resting that into something. And just a couple more cycles of breath here. And then on an inhale, let's come back up through center, pressing up to the hands. Curl onto the ball of the right foot. And then we'll kick the left toes all the way back, three-legged down dog. Again, bend the knee, open the hip. Take some big circles with the left knee. Maybe switch direction of the circles. And then drop the left toes back down to the floor. And we'll drop the knees to the floor, transitioning all the way into a seat. The legs will extend out long in front of you. Pull the toes back towards the body. Tall spine here to start. On your inhale, arms extend up overhead, so you're lifting up and out of the waist. And then use your exhale to fold forward. So your hands can drop anywhere along the legs. Maybe they reach the feet, maybe not. Or they could drop to the floor. Whatever kind of shape you land in here, think of keeping the spine long, so as if you're reaching the crown of the head forward and softening the heart to the thighs or towards the thighs. And then once you've found your deepest stretch, and again, keeping that long spine is going to make this not only a hamstring stretch, but also some release into the low back. So keeping that lengthening in the low spine, then drop the head. So you're inviting the chin in towards the chest. And bringing some length into the back of the neck and really down the whole back body. And then use an inhale to come back up through center, bend into both knees, bottoms of the feet come together. So you're butterflying out the legs. Hands come to the big toes to start. And then again, start with a super tall spine. And this already might feel like a stretch, or if you're ready for it, you could fold forward. And as you do, see if you can press the elbows into the inner thighs. So giving yourself a little bit of an assist, pressing knees towards the floor. And again, we're opening up the hips here, but we're also bringing some length into the low back as we fold forward. And then inhale to come back up through center. We're going to keep the knees bent, but plant the feet to the floor, hip width distance apart. Hands can come by the sides, and then we're just going to windshield wiper the legs from side to side. So kind of twisting out a little bit through the torso, but then just kind of windshield wipering to open up the hips. Release the hips back to neutral. Come back through center, planting feet hip width distance. Last shape here, we're going to bring hands underneath the shoulders. If you can, fingers point towards the heels. If that's too much for the wrists, then you can find a 45-degree or even out to the sides. You don't want any tension or any sharp pain in the wrists. And then pressing into the hands and into the feet on your inhale, lift the hips up into a reverse table. Now in this shape, think of pulling the shoulders together onto the back body and then really pressing into the heels to lift the hips up towards the sky. And then on an exhale, release the hips back down. Spine is tall, and then you're just going to clasp opposite elbows around the knees. Round through the back body, kind of like we were doing in our cat-cows. So press the back of the heart out, chin in towards chest. And compressing into a little ball here. And then inhale to come back through center. And I'm going to give two options to finish out practice. Traditionally in a yoga class, we end in Shavasana, which means you're lying on your back with your eyes closed. You're more than welcome to go there, or you can finish with me in a seat with eyes closed. So wherever you land, a child's pose is also an option here if you want to come back to that shape that we started with the knees wide, big toes together, hips on top of the heels. We're just going to close the eyes and take this last minute or so here together. And you might even notice how the body is feeling now versus how the body was feeling about a half an hour ago. And if you find that when we ask the body to be still, that the thinking mind starts going, I encourage you just to tap into a connection with the breath. So just noticing the inhale and the exhale, kind of entering and leaving the lungs. Yoga is a practice of finding this balance between movement and stillness. Now we'll take about 5 last cycles of breath here. Whether you are down onto the back or up into a seat, can either take a few more moments exactly where you're at, or you have the option of joining me with palms to touch at the heart. And thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. Happy Bridal Talk Saturday. Namaste.
All right. Thank you so much, Nicole. That was amazing. I hope you guys all enjoyed that. That was really relaxing. And her voice is just so relaxing. Like, what is that? That's amazing. So up next, we have Danny with Beyond Beauty Boutique. She has a little studio out in Three Forks, and she's amazing. Let me add her on right now. Hey, Danny.
Hi, guys.
Let's see here. Oh, there you are. Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
How
are you doing this morning?
Good.
Good. So tell us a little bit about you and your services and what you do.
Okay. So, like Ingrid said, I am Danny, and I am a licensed esthetician, and I own a kind of boutique kind of thing in Three Forks. It is called Beyond Beauty Boutique. I offer several services, anywhere from skincare to waxing, lashes, spray tans. So first off, I'm going to talk about skincare because this is huge. A lot of us get self-conscious, whether we have skin concerns or we just want to work on like getting a healthy, natural glow for the big day. So I obviously recommend starting a new skincare regimen at least 6 months before the big day, if not sooner. Obviously, the sooner the better. But sometimes we're on a time crunch or just don't financially have the funds, so that's fine. But to get the best results, you're going to want to start with the regimen, as well as getting facials and chemical peels, depending on, again, your skin concerns or goals, every 4 to 6 weeks, just to get those best results. And then also remember that not all skin types are the same. So I do have different facial and chemical peel options depending on, again, the skin concerns and goals. So if anybody has any questions, I don't know if I can see how to see questions, but Ingrid, can you help me with that?
Yeah. Let's see here. Bailey said your skin is gorgeous. I trust you. That is so
Well, thank you.
glowing. Oh my gosh.
Thanks. It's a little bit of a sweat because I'm kind of nervous. So
chicken look. I love that.
It's a natural glow of sweat. But anyway, so another service that I offer that you might consider while getting your wedding day prep is waxing. So this can be pretty intimidating for women because if you've never been waxed, you're not sure. Ooh, is that on my side?
The one who notified people to turn their cell phones off. Sorry, guys.
You're fine. Anyway, so waxing can be kind of intimidating whether you're not sure about the pain, embarrassment. A lot of women can be embarrassed by it, but there's no reason to be. And maybe you're not sure like how long it needs to be or about the post-care, pre-care. So waxing is a big thing nowadays. So definitely something to keep in mind. A few reasons why you might want to get waxed versus shaving, especially in the summertime. With the heat and the sweat, oftentimes we can get like irritation and bumps. I know a lot of women suffer from like razor burn or razor bumps, so that can be super irritating. And then something to keep in mind for waxing is that it does take 3 to 4 waxes to get your hair on the same cycle. So if you want to be like baby smooth by your wedding day, or let's say honeymoon, you're going to want to get at least 3 to 4 waxes in before then.
So
And most women
what does cycle mean, like for hair? I don't know what that means.
So our hair all grows in different like cycles, all of our hair. So sometimes there's 3 different cycles, anagen, catagen, and telogen. So anagen's when our hair is like growing, catagen's kind of when it's at its peak, and then telogen's when it's like dying off kind of thing.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so most women do get waxed once a month. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're trying to plan out your waxing schedule, whether it's for the big day or for the honeymoon. And then some areas you might consider getting waxed for your wedding or honeymoon are obviously bikini area, legs, whether you're, obviously most of us have a longer dress, but for the honeymoon, that's a pretty good one. Or I just hate shaving my legs, so that's why I wax. Face is always a pretty big one. And then underarms, because when we're out there dancing, we don't want to have to worry about a 5 o'clock shadow. So if we have any questions about that, just let me know, because I can't see them. So if not, I will just move on to the next service that I offer.
Lashes? Is that what's next?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, lashes. So lashes are always a big thing for brides. You can either choose to go with lash extensions, or lash lift and tint is getting pretty popular these days. They're not obviously as dramatic because it is your natural lashes, but if you use a lash serum, which I strongly recommend to all my lash girls, whether you are doing lash extensions or just the lash lift, because it does grow those lashes longer and stronger. And one I highly recommend to all my brides and clients is Babe Lash, because you can use it with extensions and the lash lift. So I personally have used it and have had great results, and I've had clients that have had it. So that's a really good one. And then some reasons that you might consider either getting lashes, lash extensions, or a lash lift is either of these will make your eyes pop for, obviously photos, plus lashes are just a big thing. We all want like nice lashes these days, just like brows. So, and then you also won't have to worry about mascara running if you're a crier. Also falsies are pretty popular these days, but I noticed sometimes they can like pop off on the edge, like on the inside.
And
and just be like
photographing somebody, like it can kind of fly away and like fly in the wind. It's a disaster sometimes.
Yeah, and like nobody wants to be like worrying about like, oh, are my falsies on? Like, are they popped off? And sometimes they can like, I feel like sometimes they're like too unnatural if they're like too dramatic or long. But I do have a tip. So if you've never had, get out of here, Lola. If you've never had lash extensions, I recommend getting a full set at least a few weeks before. Okay. That way, you don't like the style, you can kind of change that. Or if you've never had them, you might have an allergic reaction. So that's definitely something you want to know before the big day. Yeah.
So what, I know a lot of people don't know exactly what like a lift and tint is. What's the process? Like, does it hurt? Like, what do you do? Does like burn? Like,
Nope. So basically, you're fine. A lash lift is basically like a perm for your lashes. So it's only your natural lashes. So sometimes that's why you don't get the dramatic look as extensions, but it's way less maintenance. It lasts 6 to 8 weeks. So the process is you glue like a rod on. I glue a rod on top of your eyelids. We glue your top lashes to that and use a perming solution and a setting solution, tint to them, and basically it just like lifts them, because a lot of women have long lashes, but it's so hard to see them because they're flat. So basically it just like pulls them up, making them look longer and more curled.
Wow. And then
Yeah.
do you have a select color for every person, like universal, or like do you customize the lash color for people kind of like brows?
So I do have like a few colors for the tint, but most women go with like black because they want that like mascara look
Okay.
without having to wear mascara. So yeah.
Can you use mascara when you get a lift and tint?
Yep, you just don't want to use waterproof mascara.
Okay.
So that can kind of cause problems with some brides, but it kind of depends on like basically it's just kind of rough on your lashes. So if it's a one-time thing, it's not going to obviously rip your natural lashes out and ruin them, but they just like strongly recommend not to. But
Okay.
so yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So talk to me about tanning. I know this is like
Okay.
a huge topic, like with
Yes.
glasses and everything. So like, give me the lowdown.
Okay, this is like my favorite part of working with brides and bridal parties, is a spray tan. I don't know. I just feel like a spray tan makes everyone feel good. Like everybody feels good when you're tan. Like you feel like you're 10 pounds lighter. Your confidence like goes through the roof. You just like feel like you're on top of the world.
Glowing.
Which is what was that?
You're glowing.
Yeah, exactly. And in Montana, we don't have much sun, so don't ruin your beautiful skin with laying out in the sun. So yes, spray tans. I do offer spray tans. I offer a bridal package. So this will consist of 3 spray tans for $100. Trial tan, and then whether you choose to do a tan for your bachelorette party or your bridal shower, that's totally your choice. And then obviously the tan for the big day. That's pretty popular with most of my brides right now. Filling up this for this summer, just because we do want to have a trial tan because most people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be orange, or they have all these questions which I can get to later. But trial tans are just big because then we can customize your color as far as your skin tones. Make sure we get the desired darkness that you want.
Your formulas.
What was that?
You customize like your formula to each person?
Yes.
That is
Yep. So
cool.
I always feel like I'm like a little chemist because I've done a lot of continued education for this, because not, like I said earlier, not everyone's skin is the same. So not one color is going to work for everybody. And so that's why a lot of people feel orange, because the DHA is too high for their skin tone. So I take major pride in the fact that all my spray tans are custom. Plus it's just like fun for me, like pouring a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So it's just exciting. And then we can always adjust whether you want darker or lighter or whatever from there. So a few reasons why you will want to get a spray tan for your big day is that your photos will just look better. Oftentimes, yeah. So I feel like sometimes you can like almost look washed out, especially when you're wearing white. Like you want to have that just subtle glow. And photography, all their edits and stuff, you just want to be able to kind of stand out. Also, I've heard from makeup artists that the makeup just blends easier when you have a spray tan.
Interesting.
Yeah. So also it can camouflage scars. So if you have like any scars, like hyperpigmentation on your arms or legs or face, basically wherever, it kind of just blends all that together. And then your teeth always look whiter when you are tan.
Wow.
It's just like basically another reason to be tan all the time.
When you tanned me, I felt like a new woman. Like I was
and it only takes like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was insane. So good.
Yep. Addicting. It's literally addicting.
Yeah. So let's see here. I have a question right now from Kat.
Okay.
And she says, it won't rub off on my dress. I've seen a ton of brides who spray tan melt on their dress. What is that?
Oh, no.
What's the deal?
Okay, so that is a very frequent question that I've had with my brides, which will it transfer to my dress? Not if you follow the proper post-care instructions, which I send all the proper post and pre-care instructions to my clients before your appointment. So I would say if it is transferring, they are not getting all of the bronzer off. The bronzer is what goes onto your skin while I am spraying you. And then it's kind of a long process, but basically bronzer is what you see initially. And then while that bronzer sits on top of your skin is when the DHA is starting to develop, which is why they have strict shower requirements on all of that. So I would probably say that the bronzer is not getting all the way off if you are melting onto the wedding dress, which would be terrible. So just make sure you follow all the pre and post care instructions.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yes, there's definitely some questions.
Okay.
Oh, how long do tans usually last?
Okay, so that's also an often frequent question. So again, back to the pre and post care. So basically a spray tan, if you are unsure what exactly a spray tan is, it just sits on your skin. It basically stains your skin. So that's why it's super important to exfoliate and get all that dead skin off before you come in, so that we have a clean slate. Because if you're not, that's when you get like the fading. Certain areas can come off faster because it's not all the same clean slate dead skin off. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you are taking all the proper instructions, you're using proper spray tan products at home, which includes body wash, lotion. You're not using like perfume on your skin, and obviously different solutions last different, whatever brand you are using, but most of my spray tans last 7 to 12 days.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about like what body wash to use before tan? Because I know before mine, remember when you were doing me and you're like, what kind of body wash did you use? It wasn't sticking. Like,
Yeah.
that? Like, what's your recommendation? Like, I must have been using like cheap stuff because I don't know.
Yeah. So I wish I would have grabbed it. It's all at my studio, but I do have body lotion and body wash that are spray tan safe at my studio.
Awesome.
But if you don't have that, I highly recommend don't use anything. Like definitely do not use Dove bar soap. That is so drying to your skin. Yeah, don't use Dove bar soap. And then nothing with like oils. You don't want any oil on your skin. Nothing with like alcohol. So just super hydrating. I don't have any brands off the top of my head right now. But yeah, just check your body lotions and soaps for anything with high oil or high alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And if you want the best results, grab a body wash and a body lotion on the way out.
It's amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me look at other questions before we chat with Sue. Let's see. How long does a wax last? That was back on waxing.
Again, it depends on the person and like your hair. So I always kind of base it off how many times a week do you have to shave.
Okay.
But it lasts like I said, most people get waxed every 4 to 6 weeks, mostly 4. But if it just depends on if you have darker, coarser hair, lighter blonde. Each person's kind of different.
Okay.
And the area is kind of different too. So
Perfect.
yeah. And then I'll just go over a few more questions that I have that I get frequently. Is when should I schedule my spray tan? So this is really important, again, because you don't want to be rubbing off on your dress. So I always recommend to get your spray tan at least 2 to 3 days before the big event.
Yes.
That way we can get at least 2 showers in, make sure all that bronzer's off. If heaven forbid something did happen, we can get that fixed. Plus your color has had plenty of time to develop, so it's at its full potential. But yeah, so 2 to 3 days before the wedding or the big event.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So where can people find you and book you and all that good stuff?
I was just gonna say, you can like my page on Facebook and Instagram. It is Beyond Beauty Boutique. And if you want to book, you can go either on Instagram or Facebook and click the book now or book tab, I think. I'm not sure what it is, but my schedule link is on both of those. And yeah.
And then you have a promo code for everybody for something, right?
What was that?
You have a promo code for our brides, right, today?
Oh, yeah, it is Bridal Talk.
Perfect.
If you use Bridal Talk for the little banner below, then that'll get your bridesmaids 10% off.
Yay! Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yeah, can't wait to meet all you beautiful brides and be a part of your big day.
Yes, all right. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Up next, we have Sue with Wild Bloom. Hello.
Oh, hi.
are you? It's so
What is this?
Your background is so cute. You're so cute.
Oh my gosh, I was just saying in my stories on Instagram, like if nothing else, like I was so stoked to be able to shower and do my hair today.
Like yes.
No, thank you so much though, and all the hard work you put into this, for real. This is really awesome, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah. So tell me about you and what you do and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so my name is Sue Stark. Wild Bloom is my company. We're a floral design studio here in Bozeman. We primarily do weddings and events. So summer is obviously a very busy time of year, but we do weddings throughout the year, just about like one a month at the very least, obviously, even into the winters. Yeah, so I would say that that's like the business in a nutshell. I have a staff that helps me in the summer, but I'm pretty much the solo designer and the person who runs the show these days.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me more about like your style and all that good stuff.
I would say that my style is pretty reminiscent of being organic and natural, like really taking in the aesthetic of like what Montana is, but also just being really beautiful. The idea is to have things with a bit of like a garden style, a lot of floral heavy. I do love a lot of color. I love using a lot of local flowers. But with a tinge of something that's a little unexpected. So if you see any of my work, follow me on Instagram. You know that I love things that are beautiful, but I also love things that are a little out of the box that you might not expect, but still adding to something that's going to be stunning. Yeah,
that's great.
That's the goal. Anyway.
Yeah. So let's talk about the current situation here. Will all the 2020 postponements affect 2021 couples?
So in a nutshell, yes, we're seeing that all of these postponements right now are pushing either to later in this year, or people are requesting the same dates for next year, or depending on availability of the vendors, looking towards next summer already. So for example, I have a September wedding who's already considering postponing and wants a July weekend. And if anybody knows anything about Montana's summers, they're amazing, but they're short, and so the weekends fill up very quickly. And so my advice to anybody who is recently engaged or considering 2021 for their wedding is not to be alarmist, but to definitely reach out to vendors as soon as you can. I would say that right now is a great time to reach out to vendors because we all have a little bit more downtime. I'm finding myself able to be on the computer a lot more. Typically, I'm in the studio, and so emails can be, it's the balancing act of that. So I would say put together your vendor team, get the big things that you need and you're really looking for in the next couple of weeks, if possible. Yeah, so it's just next summer is gonna end up being 2020 and 2021 couples, and so we'll see. I think more weekday weddings as well, but it's gonna get busy.
Well, there's hope there then.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's all the hope. Absolutely.
So what is important when considering wedding flowers?
I would say the biggest piece of what things to consider when thinking about wedding flowers is seasonality. Seasonality affects, it can affect color palettes, it can affect availability of things, what type of blooms. Obviously, lilac are going to start growing here very soon. So if you want lilac, it's going to be a spring wedding. If you love dahlias, it's going to be a more late summer to a fall wedding. And so not only does that affect availability, that also affects cost. So if you want something that's out of season, that floral designer is going to either need to buy locally, which is my preference. We have amazing flower farmers in this town. We grow the most stunning things. But if it's something else, it's going to have to be shipped from out of the country. And so, or like from other places, like within the country, wherever that season is. And so that adds cost. So really seasonality is all about color palette, availability, and budget.
Okay. Can you talk to me a little bit about as far as budgeting goes and like substitutions really quick?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So essentially the way design process works and choosing florals is that if you have something that you like, a look that you really, really want, but maybe it is something that it has floral that's out of season, you're getting married in July, but you really like spring blooms. What I do is I find something that is going to create the same aesthetic. So lilac, for example, has a lot of texture. I would find something that's going to be like textural within the same color palette and then use that to design. So that's from like an aesthetic place. From a budgetary place, as far as using substitutions, it's not all flowers are cost the same, right? So like a large cafe au lait dahlia is going to be different than, say, that's not the greatest example. There's nothing out there like a cafe au lait. Roses, garden roses, for example, they're beautiful, they're lush, they're so petally, they've got like intricate sort of like forms within them. And then there's like other roses that are beautiful, but they're going to be less expensive. So what we do is, and then like a carnation could be on the bottom end of that, right? So a garden rose could be $5 a stem, where we could get a carnation for $1 a stem. And what you can do is create the same look and shape, and finding things with a similar texture and color palette so that we can adjust the budget, but still provide the same look and overall like floral design that you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's really helpful for people.
Okay, good.
How do you choose a color palette? Like, I know brides get so overwhelmed with choosing colors and they choose too many sometimes, and then they have to throw some things out, and it's just so
right. I would say choosing a color palette is pretty personal. Colors evoke all of different kinds of emotions. People, people can, it's sort of like smell often, like there's an association with a color to like a certain memory or a certain thing. So I would say when choosing a color palette, think about things that are like important to you, things that you love. Maybe you love hot pink. Maybe that can be like intermittently in there. I would say that if you want to choose multiple colors, what I tend to do is if somebody says, I want 7 colors, I say, okay, like how can these work together? And then we start to bring out like the whole spectrum of like what that color is. So like a bright pink to a lighter pink to bridge the colors together. For me, it's very difficult to have like a really contrast, like sometimes it is to have something contrasting, very like on opposite sides of the spectrum, because you don't want things, or I don't want things to look like a clown car per se. So I don't know, that might be like kind of on a tangent, but ultimately I would say when choosing a palette, think about colors that are important to you, maybe that are important in your relationship. Also think about just like whether you want it to be sort of on trend or if you want it to be timeless. White and green is a timeless, navy timeless. Like there are colors that are going to be timeless. But ultimately, if you have a designer, he or she, they're going to be able to talk with you about options within that color palette. And so that whatever they create is going to be really, really beautiful and blend with the rest of your event design.
That's awesome. You really are like a designer, not just a florist, I feel like, which is so fun. I love that.
Yeah, I like to think that. Anyway.
I'm going to read a question really quick.
Okay.
What would you use for greenery within a bouquet?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I think it really depends. I really like to use, again, local greenery, local anything. I think anytime that you use something that is growing around you, it ends up looking more natural and it ends up looking more organic in a way that blends into that garden style. So we have growers that grow all different types of greenery that I just kind of like geranium leaf. I really, really like. We have people who are growing some like grapevine. And then in the fall, like there's 9 bark that I really, really like to use because it's like a really dark color. I like to use maple. I like to use anything again like that's growing. That's not to discount that that eucalyptus is a thing that people love the color of and love the smell of and all of that. So as it's being requested, and if I think it goes along with the design, I'll absolutely use something like that. That's a little bit more, that maybe doesn't grow here, but that will still go along with things, or if somebody really, really loves it. But I like to use things that are local as much as possible.
It's amazing. Somebody asked kind of along the lines of what grows local here in Bozeman in the summer?
Oh my goodness gracious. Like almost you name it. Dahlias, cosmos, delphinium, snapdragons, sweet peas.
There are a lot here.
Oh, so the valley, it's called the Valley of the Flowers. We have like an incredibly rich soil. And so, and that goes back to like the 1920s when we used to grow sweet peas for food. And that's how Sweet Pea Festival became a thing. And so, I mean, you name it, like we can grow it. Zinnias, sunflowers. I mean, I should have maybe like provided a photo, but if you ever, and I'll post maybe some in my stories today so you can check out some of the other flowers that grow locally. But literally the sky is the limit. Lilac, it's crazy. We're really, really lucky. It's a short season, but it's bountiful.
That's amazing. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What does your design process look like?
So the most important thing, obviously, is always getting to know couples. So, or like either if I'm working directly with a couple or if I'm working directly with a event designer, planner, I like to know a little bit about them so that I can get a little bit more into what that overall style is going to look like. So I would say getting to know my couple is the beginning of it, seeing and feeling and understanding like what they like, what color palettes they're liking, why they like that color palette, what floral they like, and why they like that floral. So taking all of that information, we exchange some inspirational photos, obviously. Are we on the same page? Yeah, we are. And then I take all of that and I begin to put everything together, break every piece that I'm going to be building down and start to consider what floral would go with that aesthetic, and then build out a really like nice creative deck that talks about each one of the pieces that we're going to build for the day. And then, when I like to draw out installations, I like to draw out some things so that I can get a vision of what that is. Not everything requires all of that, but yeah. So like, again, like you said, it's definitely like a design element. And so I like to put all of the colors. I like to have the inspiration. I'm very visual. So it's from getting to know people into the days and weeks before, drawing it out, ordering the flowers, making sure everything like looks really nice together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read some questions really quick.
Okay.
Megan asks, seasonal greenery or for fall? Seasonal greenery for fall?
Oh, seasonal greenery for fall. Like that's local, I'm assuming, which like she's meaning. So obviously, and it depends on what you're going to be doing with it, because some things work better cut and need water. So like aspen trees, for example, they don't have a really long life if you cut the branches and use those. If you don't put them in water, they start to look kind of sad after a few hours. So if you're doing an installation, it could look really tired by the time the ceremony goes, depending on what time you're able to do it. So I would say like aspen starts to change color. 9-bark is a really nice one. Maple is a really nice one. Again, there's like some people who are growing anything like that's kind of woody and shrubby begins to be a possibility for you. If you're considering doing something on your own, my advice would be to find anything that you're considering foraging or whatnot, cutting a piece of it and then letting it sit out for several hours if you're going to use it for an installation, or putting it in water for a couple of hours so that you can see how it's going to react to being cut. A lot of things do work really well as a fresh cut item, but some things just aren't good for it. And by experimenting before, you're really going to allow yourself to have something that's going to look fresh throughout the entire day, evening.
Okay, awesome. Kelsey asked, do you do bouquet packages? What do your packages look like?
I don't have any bouquet packages. I do everything custom per event right now. That's not to say that I don't do a la carte items for events. So like if you need just a bridal bouquet for an elopement, or if you're only looking for bouquets and like boutonnieres or personals, I absolutely do those. I just don't have them put together and like, here's a set price for what this is going to be, because I like to make everything, all the recipes created for that particular event. That's not to say that it might not happen in the future, but right now I don't. Right now everything's custom, but I will do those I will create packages for you.
Totally makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
Elena asked, what trends are you seeing for arches this year? That's a really good question.
What was the question?
What trends are you seeing for arches this year?
That's a great question. Okay. Yeah, that's a great question. So trends that I'm seeing for arches, I'm actually seeing a lot of things that are going without an arch. So like the idea of like deconstructing the arch, where it would be like maybe like 2 taller pillars that are just like floral and greenery, maybe different sizes, so that you can still see like the background. I mean, obviously one of the reasons that people get married here is for the mountains and for the views. And what that does is allow nothing to cover up that top portion where the mountains are. We're also seeing a lot of ground installations where you'll see like a half moon or like something that's coming up that appears to be growing directly from the ground, that really still creates a space and frames the ceremony for you, but without, again, the idea being that it can still have like a full view of whatever is behind it. So those I think would be like the 2 big ones. Another one that I see all of the time, but still not all of the time, but that gives us the same sort of like solution to see like the mountains, are using urns. So if you're looking for like a bit of a more classic look, using like really tall, beautiful urns and then creating 2 really large pieces to frame the space is another option if that's like the end goal. But I would say those 2 things are the trending things though.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Yeah, love them. Everybody do them.
Let's see here. What questions do we have? What kind of like fun details do you add that are like non-flower related into your bouquets and your installations?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it depends on the aesthetic. Like if we're going for something boho versus something a little bit more timeless. But I love to use a lot of grasses. I love to use feathers where it seems appropriate. I love to use dried elements where it seems appropriate. I would say that that's probably about it though. Anything that's natural, I would put into or consider putting into an installation. I don't do a lot of things that are faux, fake, like that. Antlers, obviously, they're huge here, so we'll put antlers into them. This year, I have a couple who is using really like tall. You can't see how tall, but they're like 4 or 5 feet tall, like geodes. So they're going to be these huge geodes, and we're going to create some greenery and floral to add to the geodes. So I'm open to all of the things, but I do like to stick to things that are natural and real. For the part. Fruit, sure, we'll put fruit in there. You name it. If it's appropriate, I'll do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sue, well, do you have anything else to add? Where can people find you?
I don't really. Well, just got stuck. I don't really have a lot to add. Except for this, I would say when you're thinking about putting your vendor team together, just know that every single one of us is there for you. Like it is definitely a team effort to put together an incredible event. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of details, and just allow yourself to lean on whoever you put together on your team, because that's what we're here for, and that's what we love to do. And yeah, so even if you like to be somebody who is in the details all of the time, just allow the vendors to take some of that off of you so that it's less stressful.
We got this. We got you.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've got you. We want to hear from you, obviously, because it's your day, but like we want you to know that like that's what we're here for, and we want to be a part of the team. So we're team bride, team couple, team groom, all the way. And then where you can find me on Instagram at The Wild Bloom, which is kind of scrolling on this little ticker. It's BLUME. I decided to get creative. My family's German. And then now I have to spell it out all of the time. So, yeah, so find me on Instagram, find me on the web. Most likely just find me on Instagram. That's where I spend the majority of my marketing. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Sue.
Oh, thank you so much, Ingrid. I appreciate it. This was really, really fun. If anybody has questions, don't hesitate to shoot me a message on Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one.
Bye. All right, guys. So thank you, Sue. That was amazing. Let me find, sorry, still getting used to this over here. So let's do a little giveaway. I am going to be giving away a Heyday gift card. If you're familiar with Bozeman, Heyday is an amazing little gift shop, and they have so many cute little things. And you can also shop online as well if you are out of state. So this is to everyone watching. All you have to do is, let me find a little thing here. So to win $25 to Heyday, all you have to do is like and share this video. You must be following me over on Ingrid Svare Photography and the Bridal Talk on Instagram. So I'm going to let you guys take just 1 to 2 minutes to do that really quick, and we'll announce the giveaway at the end of the day. But yeah, go ahead and enter that. And up next, we're going to chat with Cynthia from the Galton River Hideaway. Gonna unmute myself. Okay, we're back. So go ahead and enter that giveaway. This is gonna be on replay for the next 24 hours, so you can always go back and enter those giveaways. So up next, we have Cindy from Galton River Hideaway. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you again for doing this. I can't tell you how much it means to all of us. It's a pretty big deal, and we're just grateful that you hopped on and put it all together for us.
Oh, thanks for joining.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Good. So tell me, yeah, let's talk venue stuff. Cynthia's
Awesome.
a manager at Gatlinburg Hideaway, and this is one of my favorite venues in the valley. It's so green, it's so lush, and it's just amazing. So tell us about it.
Thank you. We love it too. We work really hard to take care of Gallatin River Hideaway all year long. We only do summer and early fall weddings, really, only through the end of September. So June through September is really our season. But we work year round to make sure that the entire property is ready for our couples when they get here. It's a big property, it's 88 acres. And most of you know that we have 5 cabins and 3 tree houses on the property too, for your guests, for your bridal party. We're also an Airbnb. But you also know that this is the last year that we'll be offering those. So if you've scheduled your wedding for this year, they're here, they're ready for you. Next year, we'll have 1 cabin that will be a get ready and stay cabin so that you've got plenty of room there. Most of you know we also have 2 venues. We have our Creekside venue and our Bridal Veil venue. And the difference is how they look and how they feel and their capacity. They're both beautiful. Creekside is a whimsical, rustic look. I've heard most people describe it that way. And it's newly renovated. Last year, we completely gutted it and started over and did some really cool things and turned an old barn cupola into a chandelier and put these beautiful hand-cut paper banners in the ceiling. And it's just so pretty. My husband, thank goodness, is very creative and great at construction. And he built a whole new backdrop to the stage, which is a barn door that opens up with this really pretty sparkly backdrop. And he also put a new entrance on the front too, which is also a barn door entrance with some great new light fixtures and just really changed the entire feel of that venue. Creekside will max out at 175 guests. And it's got cathedral style plastic sides that can be pushed open. And really, guys, the plan this morning was to go to both of our venues and walk around a little bit and show you both. But it's cold outside, and I didn't think any of you would want to hear me out of breath and chattering because it's a little chilly. So I decided to come to you from my little office instead. So this is my new office. If y'all haven't seen it, it's just beyond one of the tree houses on the property. So this next year, when you come by the property, you'll have a place to actually meet me instead of just in the parking lot. So it's a beautiful spot, both Creekside and our Bridal Veil venues. I think Ingrid's going to run some photos and maybe a little video tour of when we were in our summer season so you can see how we really look. Some of the things that we do for both of our venues is bring in hanging baskets of flowers that Oak Gardens Nursery cultivates for us all winter long. So that's kind of built into your venue. You'll have big, beautiful, full hanging baskets of flowers around the outside front of each venue. Here's Bridal Veil, and this is going to be a little walk through Bridal Veil. And Bridal Veil is different from the Creekside venue that we just talked about, and we'll go back to that. But Bridal Veil is kind of a big round pole barn. And what you're seeing here is our fire pit area. So your guests can linger outside. This is great for post-reception hangouts and certainly pre-reception hangouts for your rehearsal. You'll see the plastic sides here around the pavilion, and those can be raised. There's our kids' play area. And then back behind the venue are some horseshoe pits for play. And you can see there some of our hanging baskets of flowers. And we're going to go in and you'll see the inside, which is a big open round space. So all those plastic sides can unzip and they roll up. And from the inside, you can't even tell they're there. So when the weather is good, we really encourage you to do that because it's really beautiful. You can kind of see this cathedral ceiling with the tooling that's draped. And our bistro lights that are all the way around. And you'll see here some wine barrels that we've got for your use. And these amenities are available at both venues. So the difference is look and feel, but you get all the same stuff at both venues and you don't share anything between the two. So part of what's included in your venue is, besides the venue itself, is 3 days. You get a Friday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So you can come in and get everything set up, have a barbecue lunch, and maybe do some lawn games, and then you can do rehearsal and rehearsal dinner and a little party afterwards, or a fire pit until 10 o'clock that night. And then on Saturday, you have from 8 a.m. to midnight. So you can hold your ceremony anywhere in there that you want. So you've got all day to leisurely get ready, make your way to your venue, have your ceremony, and then party like crazy till midnight. We're going to go into the kitchen portion here of Bridal Veil. So you'll see the shelves here. It's a large catering kitchen, really nice and roomy, plenty of room for your caterers to get set up. And then day 3 is from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And you can come back by the venue and pick up whatever decor that you want to take with you. Lots of people will bring donuts or a little continental brunch for your guests that are departing, or your bridal party. And we have this year hired a commercial cleaner that comes in and does post-wedding cleanup. So she puts away all of your tables and chairs and cleans them, which, by the way, are included in your venue. And then you've got that extra time to come and pick up the remainder of your decor that you want to hang on to. So you can see how it looks from the inside. We're going to pan all the way around. You can see all the big hanging baskets of flowers. Outside the venue, and I don't know that it's made it into this video because it was quite lengthy, but at Bridal Veil, we also have a bridal path that goes through the woods, and it's a beautiful little walk. Now, the building that you're seeing here is an outbuilding that is an actual flush toilet restroom. And we all know how important that is. We don't do porta potties here. It's not an outhouse. These are actual real flush toilet restroom facilities. And so that's a really big deal, very important. When your guests are in their finery, we don't want them to have to cram themselves into a little teeny tiny porta potty. That is the beginning of the bridal path. Beautiful area that goes through the woods, and it ends up on our white bridges where you come across and then make your grand entrance to the gazebo meadow, which is also part of both of our venues. So that's what's included at each venue, is a gazebo with a gazebo meadow, the pavilion itself. Here's your gazebo meadow at Bridal Veil. You can see it's white. In the tall trees, it's so pretty out there. And in the summertime, that entire area is shaded starting at about 2 o'clock. So perfect for your guests to stay cool while they're seated at your ceremony. So we are very transparent. If you know anything about Gallatin River Hideaway, we price our venues on our website. We put our pricing out there for everybody. Our pricing for 3 days is $77.50, and that includes the venue, your tables and chairs, a 2-tap keg bar, speaker, and single speaker, single mic sound system, and then your cleanup. You do all your own setup. We don't involve ourselves in that. You guys know how you want it better than anybody. So we just provide the palette and you do the painting. And we allow you so many freedoms. We have basic property rules that everybody does, but we give you as much space and as much freedom as we can to do what you want to do. And with each of our venues, some of the questions I have are, do you do 2 weddings at the same time every weekend? And the answer is yes, we do. And we've done it that way for years. And the reason that works is because each venue is completely independent of the other. Like I said earlier, nothing is shared. They even have separate entrances and separate parking lots. So there's no connection between the two. There is a big 12-acre pond that separates the venues. So that does become sometimes a common gathering area. And it's not uncommon to see wedding photographers and their bridal parties kind of floating around, taking pictures, and just making the most of the space itself. But the 2 venues are completely independent of each other. So we've had 2 instances where we had bridal parties from each venue get together at one. And that was, both of those were insane. They had so much fun. They were small parties that were destination weddings. One of them both weddings were out of the country. And so they had a really good time. And I'm still friends with both of those parties on Facebook and know that they talk to each other regularly. So not only do you get to have your beautiful event, but you might meet some lifetime friends as well. Ingrid, do you have any questions?
Yeah, let me show you the other venue really quick. Sorry, I'm trying to find it here.
That's okay. It's a totally different look. It's a white tent pavilion. So unlike Bridal Veil, where it's kind of a round pole barn, it's more of a white tent look. So it's a little bit more on the romance side.
Is this it?
Here you go. That's it. That's the entrance. And again, you'll see our hanging baskets of flowers all the way around, and how green we are. Can't wait for this green again. So here we're walking into the front, and you'll see the new entryway there with the barn doors. And then that opens up into the wider inside here. Now this is smaller than Bridal Veil. Bridal Veil maxes out at 250. This one will max out at 175. So here you can see the cathedral windows on the sides, which again, these are retractable curtain sides. These are the Edison lights that we put up inside with those paper banners. And there's our barn cupola chandelier that my husband worked so hard to make, but it turned out perfectly. So this is what it looks like when you arrive. It's clean, it's empty, and it's ready for you to set up however you want it. So you'll see we're going to walk up to the stage and open those barn doors. And then this is what your backdrop looks like behind the stage. And, you know, everybody uses the space differently. Some people put their head table on the stage. Some people put a live band. Some people put their food or their sweets. So it's up to you. Again, it's part of your freedoms. And with Creekside, it also has the catering kitchen. It's got the gazebo meadow. The creek runs in front of both of our venues, so you'll have running water behind both of them. Both of them have outdoor seating, flush toilet restrooms that, again, are not shared, fire pits, horseshoe pits, kids' play areas, all that good stuff. And we make it easy. We try to make this so easy for you to book and for you to have your event.
Beautiful. Do you care if I read some questions?
I'm sorry, what did you say, Ingrid?
Can I read some questions for you?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Somebody asked. Okay, so we have two questions that are the same. Do you have any special weekday discounts because of everything right now?
We do. Yes, we do. Your weekdays are $6,500, and weekdays are 2 days, and you can choose from Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So it's a little bit of a discounted price for weekdays. And we also have elopement packages too. So we've started that last year. And most of you know that Toby, my husband and co-property manager, is also an officiant. So he's not built in, he's an option. Pretty cool, laid back guy. Just wants to get to know you as a couple. And if you need an officiant, he does all sorts of ceremonies. So that's an option as well.
That's amazing. Let me show you a few more photos. Sorry, these are a little delayed here.
That's okay. We just wanted you to see it when it's green. There you go. That's Bridal Veil.
Yeah. What else do we have?
You know, something else that we offer too. I mean, we have weekday slots, but since we have 2 venues, we also have double the availability for dates. So that's another thing. We were just heading into our heavy booking weeks. We were about 50% booked about 4 weeks ago when all this came down. And so now we still have space at both of our venues for weekdays and weekends. So please don't hesitate to reach out and talk to me, and let's see what we can work out for you. Capacity, we have a lot of large weddings, so Bridal Veil is very popular for the larger weddings because it is a max at 250. But this year, I do think some of our attendance may be affected by all this. So Creekside has availability as well. So check in with me and let's talk about what available dates are out there at which venue. And we do FaceTime tours, especially now with this social distancing thing and the quarantine stuff. We've always done FaceTime tours, but now then the way we're doing it is if you want to come out to the venue itself and FaceTime me from the office, I'll stay in the office. You go walk around the venue and take your own guided tour with a little bit of narration and background info from me. Or if you're from out of town or out of state, I'll go walk around the venue and FaceTime you. And that way you can get your questions answered and we can still all do this together.
That's amazing. You're awesome. Kelsey asked, do we get to pick our own caterer? And then somebody else asked if you guys had bartenders.
you'd get to choose all your own vendors. And this is one of the things that makes us very popular, is that we don't have built-in in-house vendors of any sort. So that's another freedom that you have. You choose your own caterer. You choose your own bartender. And here's another thing that, let's talk about the bartending really quick. We have a type of event insurance that we require all of our couples to have. It's super cheap, runs about $1.50 a person. And it gives you a temporary liquor license for the weekend. So you can serve hard alcohol, you can serve champagne, wine, beer, whatever you want, and you don't have to have a licensed bartender to do it. So if Uncle Joe wants to serve your alcohol at your wedding, we definitely recommend that you have somebody serving. Self-serve is never good. But you don't have to have somebody who's a registered licensed bartender who you're paying to serve at your event. So yes, you can serve whatever kind of alcohol you want. And you can, use our little 2-tap keg bar for beer if you want. It's an option that's out there, but yeah, we try to make it easy for you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
I think that's about it. Y'all know that I talk a lot. So I have a lot to say, and I'm never at a loss for words. So if you've got any other questions at this point, check out our website, which is just GallatinRiverHideaway.com. And you'll see both of our, good, thank you. You'll see both of our venues, pictures from our recent season, and then you'll see all of the cabins, pictures inside and out, along with our pricing, the details, and everything you need. The only thing that's not on that website is the available dates, because usually I can't keep up with that. So that may change. But available dates in the contract are the only thing that aren't there. Everything else is transparent on our website. It's all there for everybody to see, along with my phone number. So call me. I'm available to everybody, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 days a week. Text me, FaceTime me, give me a call, whatever you need. Happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cynthia. We really appreciate you.
Thanks, Ingrid. Really appreciate you. Y'all have a good afternoon, and looking forward to the rest of the vendors.
See ya. All right. Next up, before we see Alara Jewelry and Plume, we're going to do a quick little giveaway from Tailored and Tied. And let me pull that up here really quick. Let's see here. Oops. I'm sharing the screen. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. This is all new. Oops. Shoot, you guys aren't getting sound. Let's see here. Let me try this again. Sorry, guys. Oh, my mom's trying to call me. She's got me. No sound. Yeah, because that's weird because we had sound the other one. Okay. Let's try this one more time. You guys get it?
I'm Lex.
This is Milo, and we are Tailored and Tied.
We're coming to you today from our newly renovated showroom here in Manhattan.
And we're super excited to be a part of this Bridal Talk and have an awesome giveaway coming at you. Kelvin.
To win our $500 giveaway, simply follow us on Instagram at Tailored and Tied. Like our giveaway.
Okay, that's very weird. I don't know why sound keeps going. Shoot. I'm sorry, guys. When it's full screen, there's no audio. Okay, so I'm gonna play it one more time. If it cuts out again, I'm just gonna tell you guys the rules to win that Tailored and Tied credit. Yeah, Shannon, I can post it to the page too, but I'm gonna play it one more time with screen because it seems like you guys can listen to it with the screen. If you guys can't hear it one more time, I'll just post it. Can you guys hear it?
Hi, everybody. I'm Cooper.
And I'm Lex.
This is Milo, and we are Tailored and Tied.
We're coming to you today from our newly renovated showroom here in Manhattan.
And we're super excited to be a part of this Bridal Talk and have an awesome giveaway coming at you. Go.
To win our $500 giveaway, simply follow us on Instagram at Tailored and Tied. Like our giveaway post and tag 3 friends who love a good love story. The winner will get a $500 credit, which can be used towards any available rental. Think our signature I Do marquee letters, an arbor, bars, lounge furniture, and even the beer truck. Or it can be used towards custom signage, such as a welcome sign, table number set, or a sign with your logo. The winner will be announced next Saturday on April 11th, so be sure to stay tuned. We can't wait to meet you on the gram and make your event uniquely yours.
Did you guys hear that? Isn't that an awesome giveaway? Okay, so while we wait for Alara, I'm just gonna put this up and give you guys a chance to go enter that really quick. And then in a couple minutes here, we're gonna talk to Alara Jewelry. Hello.
Hi. Oh, Ingrid.
Good. Okay, so you're kind of like frozen. Let's see. How is everybody else seeing this? Let me check on Facebook. You guys there?
No, it was breaking up a little bit.
There you are. Let's see. Let me get.
What's that? Can you hear us?
Are you guys on the phone?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Can you see us?
No.
Let's see.
How weird.
Well, that's
Okay,
the
I'm
fun of technology.
going to move you, and then we'll try it one more time. Oh, there you are.
Yahoo!
There you are. Yay. We got it. All right, you have the screen.
Howdy. Hello. Are we taking it away? I think we are. Well,
Good to go.
let's see. We're also watching from the Facebook page as well, so we can.
I know. I'm like,
Is it my turn?
it's your turn. You have the screen.
I have the floor. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Alara. I'm Beth. Lag as well. What people are seeing as well. So bear with us. It's gonna be a little fun, right? All right. So on with me. We know that you're planning, and we have come up with a number of solutions to help you continue to do those things so that you don't get behind schedule. So we're going to come back here to our back table, and we're going to have Mike talk about several different kind of hands-free things you can do at home regarding your wedding bands. Michael.
Hi, guys. Hopefully you can hear us and see us. My name is Mike, and I am one of the dream brokers here at Alara. We know that planning a wedding right now can be kind of tricky, but we don't want you guys to have to wait. We know that planning a wedding can be fun, but we also want to expedite the process for you guys. So we work with a few great companies, and we actually created a website for you guys. So if you go to alarijewelry.com/bridal talk, we have a whole page here that has several different options of wedding bands for you guys. And I'm going to walk you through a couple of them here. So the first one that I want to show you is called Lashbrook. And they are a great vendor of ours that is out of Utah. And what's fun, so if you go to lashbrookdesigns.com, it'll bring you to the homepage here. And you'll see at the top, build your own. All right. Let's see here. So when we go to the Lashbrook website, if it ever loads, it's really fun. It will give you a whole breakdown for your ring. You can build your own. Here we go. So if you go to Lashbrook website, it will actually show you a render of the ring that you're creating. So let's say this ring here, instead of white gold, let's go to something more like Damascus steel, something that's a little more exciting. What's great too is if you're working in a budget, you can actually see that budget here. When we move on to the next step, it will have you choose a profile for your ring. So we have all of these profiles here. Let's go with a beveled profile. It's my favorite. Next, you can actually choose the width of your ring as well as the size. And I'll talk about sizing here in just a moment. So let's go with 8 millimeters. That's what my ring is. And then you can also choose a different finish. So I kind of like the acid finish. So I'm going to keep that there. And I'm going to also do an inlay pattern here. So let's do one that's 2 millimeters. And I kind of like having gemstones in my ring. So let's do this 3-stone style. And I'm happy with the diamonds. So this is the ring I've created here, and it will give you that price point, which is great. This is actually what you would be paying if you were to purchase the ring through us. So with sizing, I was talking about how I discussed sizing. You know how when you go to a shoe shop and let's say you're a size 11 in one shoe, but then you try on some Nikes and you're like a 10. That's kind of how Lashbrook is. They have their own personal sizing system. So we have those sizers here. If your wedding is coming up, get in touch with us and we can set up an appointment for you guys to do the sizing. We also have a few different sizing options for other rings that we carry in the shop. So these classic bands here, we would size you depending on which ring you choose with wide sizers or narrow sizers. And for the ladies, we actually have contour rings. So these are really fun because these rings will actually contour to the contour of your engagement ring. So we have special sizers here in the shop that won't actually measure your finger size. It will be measuring the size of the contour that's needed for your ring. So that's kind of a great option if you do want to have a ring that's sitting flush up against that band for you. If you do have any questions on our website, we do have this little link here. You can ask us any questions there, and we'll get in touch with you there. So I think now I'm going to pass it off to Chantel so that we can discuss some bridal gifts.
Hello, guys. Hope everyone is having fun at home. So what you kind of will be seeing on the screen shortly, Ingrid has a couple pictures of different pieces of jewelry that are just like a fun, rough idea for gifts that would be great for the ladies in your life for the day of the wedding. So if you're looking at doing gifts for your bridesmaids, a gift for mom, a gift for your future mother-in-law, the grandparents, all the good stuff. We have tons of options here at the store that we can show you. So just to give you a rough idea, including some of the pictures that Ingrid will be showing here, we have things that start anywhere from $15, like these freshwater pearls here, to where you can actually customize your own earrings, maybe with the wedding colors from your wedding. So you can actually customize the colors for these earrings. You can do really cool floral initials for the bridesmaids. This is actually a really cool piece. It's really hard to tell when it's just lying here on the little tray, but this is actually showing a little topographic cutout of the Gallatin River. So depending on where you and your partner met, it is a really nice way to kind of signify something that's a good everyday piece that you can gift to your gals. But there's tons of options. Again, anywhere from $15 to $80. You can mix and match. It's just a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun here, and if you have any questions, just send us a text. But kind of going into more girl options for all of your bridal needs, Babs is going to be talking here in just a moment about a really cool thing that we are offering free to all of our clients. So here she is.
Hello again. So, speaking of ladies and jewelry, do you remember playing dress up when you were a little girl? Do you kind of wonder where that went? Could you imagine playing dress up now in a store like this that's filled with a lot of really cool jewelry, and then having the Alara, we call us Alara ladies, even though we've got Mike, one of the Alara ladies kind of serving like your lady's maid and bringing you pieces. So, like Chantel said, this is totally free of charge. We're taking bookings for this. It's meant to be a fun thing to do maybe a couple weeks before your wedding. You can really do this non-bridal if you like, if you're just wanting to do something to honor your besties or your friends. And we started off with a bang because we contribute a bottle of sparkling wine. I think I'll have some. It's never too early. And so obviously that's to set the mood, and we can accommodate other things if that's what you care to. This is an event for you and 3 to 5 of your friends. We have 4 of these vanities, and then we literally bring you jewelry on trays. And we can style you for your wedding day if you care to. You can make it where we're just styling you for later in the evening because you have bigger plans going forward. We can style you to an outfit. In addition to doing all the super fun styling, we also are giving you a swag bag, which there's some secrets in it, but everyone gets a swag bag. And we have plenty of props, as you see, to do photo ops, so it can be a memorable evening. So, and we can do it one of two ways. We can wing it. Y'all just show up and tell us what you want to try on, what you want to do, and how much fun you want to have. Or if you're more of a planner, you can coordinate with us in advance, send us a picture of the outfit you're trying to style, and we can try and address that while you're having your party. So if you go onto, you'll see we have a special page for Bridal Talk on our website. So it's alarajewelry.com/Bridal Talk. You'll see different options for the bands that Mike talked about, as well as virtual services we'll be talking about later, and about the party.
And there's a ticker right
There's
below.
a ticker down here somewhere. Yes, so you can do that as well. And so now that we've been talking about the ladies for a while, it's back to Chantel to talk about the men in your life as pertains to your wedding. Ta-da! There she is.
As you can tell, we have some fun
Social distancing.
Social distancing going with our gimbal right now, so it's kind of fun. So there are tons of options for guys as well. You might be thinking of a gift for your groom to be, who is going to be, maybe wanting something for the day of the ceremony, whether it be a stainless steel money clip, which you can have engraved with your wedding date on it. These right here, they start at around $15 to $20 or so, and then you can customize and engrave them. There are some really cool cufflinks. You can do a copper cuff. You can custom make something for your groom, for your father, for your groomsmen. This is actually something really cool. We just got this from London, and what this is a pair of stainless steel cufflinks. It has a little bit of silicone in it, but it also comes with a really cool key ring as well. So just like a fun, neat, giftable item for the groom's party and everything else. And then these are probably my favorite things that we sell here for the for men around town. Ladies as well, knives are amazing, one of my favorite things. And you can actually see that it's all going to be Damascus steel. This is an artist called William Henry, and they have the most amazing knives, money clips, cufflinks. You go on their website, you will just be in awe of what they can create.
Don't forget Daddy.
Do not forget Dad. Dad is helping pay for the wedding, so don't forget Dad. But these are just a couple of, just a very few things. And again, price points, they start around $15 and they go up from there. So it really is a really nice way just to kind of gift something for the very special men in your life and the one that you're going to be spending time with. And so before I go, you may have seen on our Instagram page and our Facebook page, we are doing a virtual giveaway. So what it is we are giving away either a $100 gift card towards your wedding bands, or you can also sign up for a free virtual custom consultation, which is $150 value. You get to pick which one you'd like. All you have to do is like us on Instagram, like the virtual giveaway post, and then comment which one you would like to win and why. That's it. No other strings attached. And we were going to be doing, figuring out the winner for that later this evening after the Bridal Talk fair. So I think that is it from us for this go around. And if you guys have questions, shoot them away.
Okay, let me see if I have any questions for you guys.
No, Ingrid's gonna ask some questions.
Oh,
you're still recording.
Hello. Oh my gosh, you guys are so great.
Here we go. Okay, I'm ready.
Beautiful. John's gonna have to get a little upgrade soon. Those are really stunning.
Thanks.
All right. I didn't show this, but here are those awesome groomsmen gifts, just in case you need another look. And be sure, guys, to enter that giveaway.
Woohoo!
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. We're going to do a sweep around.
Woo! Bye. All right, guys. So be sure to enter that giveaway. Up next, we have Plume Bridal, and they're going to be talking about some frequently asked questions and just some some tips and tricks and stuff. So let me try to find Mackenzie here. Hello!
Hello!
You're wearing such cute pants.
Oh, thank you. I really like them. So they're very comfortable. So hello, Ingrid and everybody else out there. I'm Mackenzie, and I am the owner and fairy godmother in charge here at Plume Bridal today. So I have my clipboard because I can't. We're going to talk about styles of dresses, how to plan for your dress shopping experience, common questions that we're hearing from people these days, as well as virtual shopping options and the styling appointments that we're doing with Alara next door. So first of all, we're going to start with how you should plan for shopping for your dress. And obviously the first easiest step is schedule an appointment. You can schedule online with us at plumebridal.com, or you can call the store directly. Right now we are not here every day, so booking online is a great option. And you'll be able to set up a time that is based on your schedule. And then if you're finding a time that's not available, we can always work on accommodating you on a different time or day. So just let us know if you're not, finding what you need. The next thing that I would want to do if I was shopping for a dress is to establish a budget. This does require a little bit of research. Here at Plume, every single one of our dresses is under $3,000. 95% of them are under $2,000, and the vast majority are between about $1,100 and $1,800. We do have a clearance rack where everything is under $1,000 as well. So doing a little research with your store options is a great option. I know that sometimes people think it's too expensive to shop in downtown Bozeman, but we really try to make it approachable for everybody. If you're looking at different dress styles or brands, you can always look and use a retail finder to see what stores are carrying what brands, so that you actually know if your Pinterest dress of your dreams is actually available and made in the world anymore. So next, and probably the most important part for you to find a dress that you love, is to pick 2 or 3 of your most valued friends, the people whose opinion you can't make a decision without. Is that your mom or your sister, your best friend, or even your dad or your brother? Figure out who those people are and bring them with you and invite them to your appointment. Right now, we are only allowing 2 guests as soon as we open up based on social distancing rules, but normally we allow less than 6. So a great way to get around that is come shop with your good friends and the people who you really want to shop with, and then we can schedule a viewing appointment or a reveal appointment when your dress comes in with all your girlfriends. We can pick bridesmaid dresses at that point, and we can also pick all your accessories and veils and everything. And then everybody gets to still be included, but you actually can find your dress on your first shopping try because you have less opinions at that time. Now, for once you're here, what we like to do is have you pick some options and try kind of one of each style, especially if you're the first time shopper. And we really encourage you to be willing to try on a little bit of everything. We really see these dresses all day. We know what every single dress in this store looks like on a body. And you might not. You might think that you're wearing a ball gown and decide that you want a mermaid. So give us a little trust, give us a little faith. Let us help you find things that are actually what you're dreaming about. It's our job to listen to you and to know what we actually have in store. And last but not least, the most important thing about shopping for your dress is have fun. This is supposed to be a fun experience, and we want it to be fun. No matter what size you are, who you bring, we are here for you. And we are here to help you find the perfect dress of your dreams, not what everybody else wants or what everybody else thinks is perfect for you. So next, we're going to talk about virtual shopping options and who they're good for. We've talked to a few people about this, and I guess I see that virtual shopping is best for you if maybe you've already been shopping with us and you're between 2 dresses. Let's set up a virtual appointment because you want to order your dress, and we can just do that with putting them on 2 mannequins and comparing and contrasting so that you can make a decision without having to wait for us to be allowed to be open again. This is also a great option for accessory appointments. So as of right now, we're expecting to close at least 2 more weeks, according to the statements that Governor Bullock has made. So if you already have your dress, we can again pick that dress, put it on a mannequin, and show you all your options for your veil or headbands or anything like that. Or If you want to borrow Hannah or Kelly to model for you, they're happy to do it for you too, and I'll still accessorize them. So we also are now rolling out a plan with Alara where if you want to talk to them about styling the perfect jewelry look for your dress, we can schedule it with them and with us for when you pick up your dress or after you've done your fitting with your seamstresses. And we can have you in and you can pick your favorites from them as well and try it all on together so you know what your bridal look is going to look like. So last but not least for now, common questions we're hearing right now. Are dresses still being made? Yes, they are being delivered most days, either to this store or to my house, and we are calling people. I got the pleasure to talk to 5 brides this week about telling them their dress is in, and it was the highlight of my week and made everything feel normal for a little bit. Also, we've had lots of questions about alterations. We do not actually physically do alterations in our store because, as you can see behind me, it's not very big. We don't have room. But we do have amazing seamstresses that we work with throughout the state of Montana. So yes, call us and we will get you sorted out and help you find a seamstress that's going to be the perfect fit for your dress. How long do dresses take to make? Right now we're seeing about 20 weeks. That doesn't mean we can't get a dress for you sooner. We are able to see everybody's inventory. So if they have something sitting in a warehouse, we can pick that dress and grab it for you. So you're not having to shop at Anomaly or Beholden or David's Bridal to buy something online. You can still buy it from a local business and be able to support us and have a face to look at when you have questions. They are taking a little while right now though. So, and then how soon can you come shop when we open again? I will tell you, I will be open the first day that the state of Montana tells me I can be open again. We want nothing more than to be back here seeing our friends and our family and our Plume family. So keep following us on Instagram and Facebook. We will let you know as soon as we know. And then last but very not least, we are going to invite Hannah over to describe the different gown styles. And these gowns have also been styled with fabulous jewelry from Alara next door. So she's going to explain to you the differences between the different styles so that you're ready to go. Hannah.
Hi everyone, like Mackenzie said, I'm Hannah and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of these styles that you can see here. First, we're going to start with our very classic ball gown. Everyone dreams of a ball gown when they're a little girl, want to be a princess. If you're looking for a princess dress, a ball gown is a great option for you. Now this is a little bit more of a sleek ball gown where we can get them pretty poofy. So if you're wanting something bigger and more dramatic, we have that option. Also, if you're in love with a ball gown but want it to be a little less poofy, we can take out all this crinoline that's underneath here. No worries, and we can make it a little bit smaller for you. And then you still get that gorgeous ball gown dress, but just a little less poofy. So then moving on, we have this gorgeous fit to flare dress. It's more like a mermaid, but we actually don't have a true mermaid in this store. A true mermaid would come a little bit farther down and flare out more at your calves, where this flares out a little bit more before your knee. And these are really awesome to show off those really beautiful curves, and they make everyone look amazing. So that's a really good option as well. Then my personal favorite dress right now, I'm in love, but this dress is the true definition of an A-line dress. How it stops right at your waist and then flows out rather than fitting your body all the way down. There's no poof to it, and it's just really a classic, elegant look. Now, the thing with A-line, a lot of people think that they come in thinking, oh, I want an A-line dress. And this is things that I grab. When in reality, they're wanting something like this, which this is what we call a sheath style dress. So these just fit your body very nicely and fit all of your curves. But there's not a lot of structure where the mermaid fit to flare has a little bit more structure to it and sucks you in. Where these are just kind of nice, fit your body perfectly, and see how it's kind of a little bit more straight all the way down rather than flowing out like this one. And these are super stunning. This one's awesome as it has these lines coming down the side. They're really elongating and slimming. So those are our different styles. Make sure that you know what you're looking for before you come in, but be open. If you think you're not wanting to try on something, I'm probably still going to make you try something on because you don't know until you put it on your body. And if you're thinking you want an A-line, maybe put on that mermaid or that fitted dress and it just looks beautiful on you. So kind of be open with us.
Perfect. So stay tuned. In about 50 minutes, give or take, we are actually going to be doing a fashion show with our amazing mannequins and maybe a few surprise models. And we're excited to show you a lot of the great dress options that we have in store for everything from the classic bride to the boho bride to, you know, somebody who wants all the sparkle all the time. So we look forward to seeing you in about an hour. Ingrid, do you have any questions for us?
Let me check. Someone said they got their dresses now. Who was it? Dana? Was that you? Yeah, people are loving it. And thank you guys so much.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Oh, we do have one question. Sorry.
Go
Is it easier to dance in a fit and flare versus a mermaid? Like, what's easier to dance in?
A fit to flare is definitely going to be easier to dance and move in than a mermaid, especially kind of in this area where you're going to be walking more on uneven grass and moving around. We can actually, if you turn her around a little bit, Hannah, she's going to drop down. There's actually this seam that's right here on the front is actually on the back. So we can make almost a pocket for your bum so that you have a place to like be able to still use your legs and move around really easily, but you can also have that really beautiful fit over your figure. So we prefer to fit to flare for dancing just because we don't want to be like Beyonce having to walk up the Met steps like a penguin. So
yeah, awesome. Someone's asked, can we have more than one?
Girlfriend, you tell me and I will get you as many as you want.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. We'll see you soon. I'm excited for this. All right, next up, we have Susan Beth with Elements of Light Photography. Let me get her. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Hey, I had a bride who had 2 dresses. So yes, you can have 2 dresses.
Good.
She wore one through the ceremony and changed after the first dance and was more comfortable for the rest of the night.
You do you.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, what do you have planned for us today?
So I have a slideshow of photos for people to look at, and then I will be off on your right, giving you a little bit of information as we go through the slideshow. I don't know if I will see the slideshow or not, but I'm going to assume it. No?
Yeah. Let me find it really quick.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry, guys. Slideshow.
We've not done this before. We're doing pretty good, I think. There we go. There's the slideshow.
Let me get started. You go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. So I want to let the slideshow kind of speak to my photographic style, and it's going to come up. It will show you. I have faith that it'll get there. There you go. That is going to go through some wedding photography, but also some boudoir photography because I specialize in wedding and boudoir, and that's pretty much all I do. And I kind of have 4 goals for you today for our time together here. And you can ask questions, and at the end, I'll ask Ingrid to read them to me and we'll go through those. But my first goal I want is to encourage you because you are planning a wedding in a time that nobody has ever been in before. And it's different and maybe not what you had expected. The second thing I want to do is talk about what it's like to work with me. The third thing is to answer any questions that come up. And the fourth thing is I have a giveaway, and you'll see it down in the bottom. If you leave a comment, even if it's just an emoji or something, you don't have to have a question, but just leave a comment during this little time when I'm speaking, and you will be entered into the drawing. And when I see the replay, I'll draw somebody, and you will get an adventure session. And you can use it as an adventure session for you and your partner. and we'll go up in the mountains and do some wonderful couples photos. But you could also instead keep it to yourself and use it for an adventure boudoir session, because I have a couple of really great places that I take people on a cliff's edge or in the water or whatever. And we do some just really unique and original boudoir that is super fun. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So let's get back to that encouraging you. This is a strange reality we're in. Here we are doing a bridal talk instead of a bridal walk. I'm super glad that we're doing it. I think you've already demonstrated your ability to pivot and be flexible in these times. And I know I've heard some of the other vendors, like I heard Sue talk about this. Reach out to your vendors. We are so glad to hear from you right now, and we are making accommodations for you to be able to plan your wedding. Some of you may have a wedding plan for this summer and you're doing some nail biting about whether it's still going to happen. Start talking to your vendors that you have on board now and let them know what your thoughts are. Ask them what the process is. Consult with them about any alternatives that you have in mind, because you will find that they're happy to work with you. I have several backup plans, several layers of backup plans for you if something has to change. For those of you who are planning a wedding and you're fairly certain you're going to clear the social distancing limitations, that's fantastic. You still have to plan it with social distancing in place. And, we've been doing Zoom, who's upgrading their security. We've been doing telephone calls. You can do FaceTime. You can do Skype if you're old-fashioned like me. There's just so many ways that we can begin to communicate, start to talk, exchange information, get to know each other a little bit. So don't be shy about sitting at home and beginning to make your contacts, because it's going to be fantastic for you. So I want to also encourage you with a little story. Planning a wedding at this time must seem really hard to you. I planned my wedding. I got engaged, and 2 days later, my mom was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And so we went from what we thought was going to be a long period of time before we got married to 6 weeks. And we did it all in 6 weeks. And it was not the wedding that I had originally planned. It wasn't the long cathedral style aisle for me to walk down with a huge train. Instead, we were blessed, and my in-laws allowed us to use their property on Lake Tahoe. And I got married with Lake Tahoe lapping 5 or 15 feet away from me, in a small group of people. We did it early in the morning so there wouldn't be boats on the lake and disturbing us. And we had the best wedding. My mom was able to be there. She was healthy enough to still be moving around and talking with everybody. So it met our needs. People now tell me that was the greatest wedding ever. So no matter what's happening with all of the social distancing and the virus, I want you to know you can still have the absolute best wedding ever. And also, like Sue said, Sue Stark from Wild Bloom said, I am sure that all of your vendors feel this way, but as soon as you begin to inquire with me, I am team you. It's time to get you the information that you need. It's time to help answer your questions, give you referrals to other vendors who I think meet your needs or what you're describing you want, to work on schedules and do all of that stuff. And then on wedding day, it's team you all the way. The second shooter and I will be there. I'm really good about letting them know, hey, we are here for this bride. And that's what we're there for. There's just no question. If you say we're doing X and somebody else says we're doing Y, I'm doing X until you tell me we're doing Y. That's just the way it is. I'm all there for you. Handling things that come up. I've had torn wedding dresses. I've had that the second shooter is sewing away to help make that repair, had the skills to do that. I've had situations where grandma suddenly wants 18 more family photos than you had on your list. And Susan Beth, can you accommodate this? And yes, we'll accommodate. We'll make it work so that you get the wedding photos that you wanted. So that's kind of the team. That's the wedding stuff, all team you. Now, I'm going to talk to you about the boudoir stuff. And boudoir is a celebration of you. And you can see some pictures up here of some beautiful women who have chosen to do that. A lot of us, especially in the bridal sector, tend to think of this as a gift for your groom on wedding day. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, but I'm going to tell you right up front, my approach is that this is a gift for you. This is your opportunity. You're going into a lifelong change. You're getting married. It's a permanent relationship status change. You need to go in as strong and as confident as you possibly can. And that I call all of my boudoir photography strong, confident femininity. And that's what we're there for you to do. Whether you do it cliffside, like you see there, and there's another one on a moody sunset, or whether you do it in the studio, your boudoir session is about valuing yourself, understanding yourself in some ways. Most people learn a little bit about themselves. It's about celebrating your beauty. It's about empowering you. Everybody gets a crown. You can see the little crown there. Everybody gets to wear a crown if they want. Nobody has ever turned me down on that, but if you are the first, we'll celebrate you in other ways. But it really, that's what the boudoir is all about. When we're all done, yes, we can make an album or a book for you to give on your wedding day and give that to your groom, and whether you do that at the first look or if you're not having a first look, you hand it to him around a corner and we take photos of him looking through it for the first time and his expressions so that you can share in that experience even though you didn't get to see it right then. So that is the boudoir. There can be lots of questions and I'll answer them in a minute. Make sure that you leave a comment here in this little section so that you can be entered into that giveaway. That's about a $600 giveaway to do one of those outdoor adventure sessions. So I would just completely welcome you for that. I've gotten through all of this much faster than my practices. So I'm going to say, hey, Ingrid, do we have any questions?
I love how you said you celebrate women's beauty. That's amazing, Susan Beth. Let me see if there's any questions. Let's see. I don't know if you want to talk about this. It's totally fine. What are the costs of your boudoir packages? Just like
so. Packages that include hair and makeup and are here in the studio and include a small 5x5. That's my opening package, and that starts at $650. I use Shayla Shaw from Beauty and the Belief for almost all of my hair and makeup. She comes to my studio and does it here. So that's it starts, and then it can go up to, I have packages at $1,100. If you want bigger, more prints, whatever, really the sky's the limit on what you can spend when you see your photos. One of the things that's unique about how I do this is I've worked really hard. You get to see your photos the same day. We take those photos and you get to sit with a cup of coffee while I run down to the basement. My studio's in my home. I have 3 rooms that make the studio. And you can sit in one of those rooms, have a cup of coffee, read a book, whatever you want to do. And about 40 minutes later, I come on up and we go through your photos. And that's when you get to choose what you want me to do all the final touch-ups on and how you want to display those or what kind of printing options you want to have. So it's a really slick process because you get to go away knowing how stunning you are. It's amazing. Yeah.
Did you go over how long it takes to get your album back? Did you go over that?
It depends on how long it takes you to approve the design, but once we get it approved, then I send it off, and my printers are pretty good. I usually get it back within a week. So
that's amazing. My printers are compared to yours. Jeez.
Well, we can talk later, but no, I've so far albums delivered within a week of the order. The process of approving the design of, I mean, you guys need to be able to change the order of pictures and change the design and do that. That process can be anywhere from 24 hours to 3 weeks. But once I know what photos you want in there, I usually get you a proof within 72 hours.
You're
I
amazing.
just make that a priority. I'm not very good when things fall below the line. I don't see them anymore and I forget. So it's better to just do them when they come up. So,
Tiffany just asked, what if you're very shy about showing yourself? Can you still do this?
absolutely. There's several levels. You can wear lingerie, you can wear tools, and we've got blankets and all sorts of things and all sorts of poses that keep you from feeling like you're just, there I am. Or you can go to an implied nudity. It's completely your choice. We sit together and talk in advance and plan out what you're comfortable with. And if you're comfortable with, I want to wear these things, but I want to be super sexy, we'll make that happen for you. You don't have to show anything. It's completely customized to your comfort level.
I love that because it's so intimidating. Like, what if I don't want to show it all, but just like what's sexy to me or what's beautiful to me? Like, I love how she's beautiful to you.
But that's part of the celebration of you. It's not a celebration of me and my posing classes and those kinds of things. It's a celebration of you. Yeah. And if that's where you're comfortable, that's what we celebrate.
That's amazing.
So, any other
questions, guys? Let's see here. Let me read through. Beautiful way to celebrate bodies of all different types of women and men, maybe. Boudoir.
I've had some guys joke about doing boudoir, but nobody's ever gotten serious about it. When they do, then we'll have fun. But I have done couples together and took a course on that, and it was amazing. I mean, we had to set appropriate boundaries for everybody's comfort level, but super fun, super amazing. Just some of the hottest pictures without going where you shouldn't go. It was amazing. We'll leave it at that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions, guys, before, let's see here. One of my brides just commented that she wants to do some archery as boudoir. That'd be really pretty. I love that.
That would be amazing. My mind already has like 5 or 6 different ideas of how to play that. So I would be more than happy to talk with you, Ingrid.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I will. And I'm going to be slipping into everybody's DMs if you left a comment, because I want you all to know who did win the contest. And I might have some secret extra surprises for the rest of you. So
we'll just one more time.
So it is an adventure session, and you can use it as an adventure boudoir or an adventure couple session. It can be an engagement session if you want, although all my packages include those. So it's really, to be a special prize, it's extra and beyond that. And we just go, we figure out a place that's appropriate for you guys, that the hiking level is good. If we need some place to just drive to and get out and walk 100 yards, I've got places like that. But I've got places where we can also go cliffside and do some really incredible sunset sessions. And so we just have an adventure together and take some beautiful photos.
I love that. Thank you so much, Susan Beth.
Thank you. And I'll see you all in your DMs, if not other ways too. Thanks.
Guys, be sure to go enter that giveaway. It's going to be amazing. She's so talented. So, all right. We'll see you soon, Susan Beth.
Okay.
All right, guys. So next up, we have a giveaway from Happy Camper Coffee. They have been so generous, and they have decided to give us a gift basket. Let me find the photo here. So Happy Camper Coffee you guys, I'm so nervous. The Happy Camper Coffee giveaway. It includes a gift basket and 50% off an event package. All you have to do is follow Happy Camper Coffee 406 on Facebook or Happy Camper 406 on Instagram. Follow both and you'll be entered to get an extra little entry there. You can tag 3 friends in the post, and then the last rule is share your post on your Instagram story. So be sure to do all those 3 things. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, tag 3 of your friends in their posts, and for an extra entry, you can share their post on your Instagram story. So be sure to enter that. I'm going to give you guys about a minute, 2 minutes. We're going to have Caitlin with Sweet and Tart in just a minute. and I'm excited for you guys to see what she has to offer for you guys. Okay, guys, we're back. Sorry about that. So what we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to end this live. Facebook is being a little weird, but we just figured it out. So I'm gonna end this, go ahead and refresh our page, and then we'll be back on in like 2 seconds. So I'm gonna end this really quick, and then we're gonna start again. So bear with us. I really apologize. Facebook is kind of weird right now. We'll see you soon in just a few seconds.